Well, here we are. It's Saturday, August 20th, 2022, and I'm Larissa. And what am I doing today? Well, clean my house. And, well, most of it. Omar scrubs a tub for me so I can take a nice salty soak. Although I have to wonder about soaking in the water here, right? Because when I put the Epsom salts in the tub, there's a gray precipitate that forms. I think it's the manganese. I think it's the manganese, but there's a precipitate that forms in the water. And when I drain the tub, the precipitate falls to the bottom, and it's like carbon or graphite right on the bottom of the tub. So then he has to wipe it out again. But I just can't get down there and scrub. I was at the grocery store today, right? And I know I'm wearing my shirt. My abortion is healthcare shirt today, and my babushka, because I knew I was gonna be coming home and cleaning, and I didn't wash my hair when I took a shower this morning. I just tied it on up, you know. So at the fish counter, and this woman of a certain background, belonging to a certain religious group, comes out. Oh, do you need help? Like it was an insult, and I'm just like, how are you today? I'm like, no, I don't need help, but at your age, you need help. What the hell you doing? Still having to work at a fish counter, probably having to support all the grandbabies that your babies had when they was babies. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right? Oh, me drinking my little can, my little miniature can of ginger ale. I don't drink big cans of pop because that has too much sweetener. Besides, did you know, so if I can drink out of a bottle, I will. Could you know that until 1964 in the United States, it was illegal for a woman to drink out of a bottle in public, lest a man think about her sucking his dick? Well, what about cans? I, for one, like me a thick dick. Take that one to the bank, right? Watching this morning while I was drinking my tea and waiting for, my tea to kick in and my legs to feel more normal and all that stuff. Normal. Watching these clips of Jordan Peterson. Now, I am a registered libertarian. And that is not to say that I agree with what all libertarians say. What that is saying is that I have read libertarian philosophy. I have also read Plato. I have. I've read quite a bit of Plato. And like I said, I've read Boethius, and I've read C.S. Lewis. I have read, what's the guy's name that wrote Abuse of Language, Abuse of Power? I've read a bunch of his stuff too. I've read Toni Morrison. She's quite the philosopher. Yes, she is. Miss Toni Morrison. Yes, she is. Head over heels over Miss Maya Angelou. I've heard Miss Maya Angelou speak, and I wasn't impressed. Not saying that I don't like her poetry. I just felt that she was very, very materialistic. Also heard Sean Penn speak, and he was nothing to listen to. He was at the same event. This is what I'm saying. I'm not a liberal, and I'm not exactly a conservative either, but I do consider myself a libertarian. John Stuart Mill. I read John Stuart Mill, John Locke. And the philosophy, the root philosophy of libertarian ideology and is a radical self-acceptance and radical personal responsibility, right? It is the antithesis of codependence, right? Like telling other people what to do. It doesn't mean that you don't help people out if they need help. It means that you only help if they ask, right? And you don't stand in their way of personal liberties. And it's also an international movement. It's not just a national movement, right? And Jordan Peterson is extremely sexist, and his psychology is gravely flawed. I have him up there with Freud, right? Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, dude. And like listening to him talk about, in particular, women's issues, right? And his views on beauty. He has zero intellectual understanding of art or the history of art. And I'm talking about women's body issues and things. And he when it comes to the idea of, a woman having a need to reproduce in order to feel valuable, that is not the case. And forcing that because you say that is natural order is not entirely accurate. Whether you're looking at biology or anthropology, not everybody, number one, is able to have children, and not everybody does. And making a choice not to is, in fact, it's very libertarian, right? It's taking personal responsibility. Now, if I go out and I start telling people, you shouldn't have kids, you shouldn't have kids, you shouldn't have kids, oh, you should have kids. What does this sound like? Sounds a little bit like eugenics, doesn't it? Or making the judgment, I don't think that person should have kids. I've heard him make comments about people like that. Oh, I don't think he should have had kids. She should have had kids. Well, what the hell kind of judgment is that? You never know. You can have two of the most able-bodied, intelligent people on the planet, and they can push out a fucking retard. Right? You can have two midgets push out a normal-sized kid. Right? But saying a woman needs that to be fulfilled, and if she doesn't do that, then she has something to be ridiculed, that is shaming. I find the majority of his views, particularly on women, to be culturally shaming, to be gender shaming. And shame in the realm of psychology, which he is supposed to be a psychology professor, is in fact counterintuitive. Right? What's the guy that talked about the toxic shame? Like, he's like Psychology 101. You take your first psychology class. You watch Richard Bradshaw, right? He talks about the adverse effects of toxic shame. Right? Now, if I think you are too big to fit in a plane seat, yeah, I think you need to pay more. You should pay for 2 seats. If you're too big to fit in one seat by yourself, you should pay for 2 seats. And just accept the fact that you're a big person, right? Shouldn't ask some littler person than you to offer their space to you, right? And then if you got a problem, then you should lobby the people who make planes and say, please make some larger seats. Seems like that makes sense to me. If you got big old feet, don't be trying to stuff your foot in Cinderella's slipper. There seems to be a high rate of judgmentalness that comes out of the talking heads that are presented as libertarian mouthpieces in the media. And that's just for titillation. That's not accurate representation of what libertarianism or who libertarians are. The other one that I have a real problem with is Candace Owen. Like, she goes on and on and on about the whole woman thing. It's like, then shut the fuck up and go have a baby already, bitch. Quit telling other women what they need to do or how they should feel. Go have a fucking baby and shut the fuck up. Stay home and take care of your baby. Be part of that natural order you preaching. Walk the walk, bitch. Walk the walk. And the other thing is the stuff that these two people talk about largely. I have exceptions to their rules in my personal life. Jordan Peterson says that there is no evidence for wage gap. Well, I disagree. When I worked at the city of Sunnyvale, I had a 4-year degree. I still have a 4-year degree. I had a 4-year degree that was applicable in the field in which I was working. I was working as an arts recreational coordinator. Right? That's what I was doing. And I have an art degree. I also have permanent passing of the CBEST. So I have some education stuff too. And I have some education credits. I have a degree and experience in that field. There was another guy who was working there, right? Had a 2-year degree, an associate's degree, a fucking associate's degree, community, junior college, not even community college, junior fucking college. And he was making 10 grand more a year than me. And want to know why? When I asked my manager, a woman, Diane Moglin, she said, oh, well, after all, Larissa, Tim Rappel has a wife and a new baby, and his big brother had tenure. So don't tell me that gender discrimination does not exist. And when they did not allow me to keep my job because I was provisional, right? This woman who supposedly had been a teacher, who had to check my letters and told me that I misspelled especially, that it was especially, and never drank an espresso, drank espresso. This bitch told me, we didn't give you the job because you're just going to want to have a baby. And then the bitch that they hired, what did she do? 3 months into getting the job, got fucking pregnant. Don't tell me, Jordan Peterson. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that there isn't discrimination. And bitches, don't tell me that you don't do it to other bitches, because you do. Right? Now, I'm going to clean my house myself, because the last time I had somebody in here cleaning my house, they ripped me off. And the time before that, the woman did a great job, but when I found out what her contract terms were, it was slave labor, and I didn't want that shit in my house. Anita's housekeeping? Fuck you. So if you call somebody and they won't meet face to face with you, the guy that handled the money wouldn't meet face to face with me. I have no idea who that motherfucker was. And when I went to the office, it was a fake office. And it was over there in Capitola. Over there by that market where bitch got in my face today. Anita's housekeeping. Slave fucking labor. That's why. That's why I canceled my service with you. And because I didn't want you going after Maria, that's why I didn't hire her. I clean my own house. How many other bitches clean their own house, huh? Kim Kardashian, do you clean your house? Do you? Do you scrub your toilet? Do you dust? Do you? Aisha Curry, do you clean your house? Do you clean your house, bitch? Do you clean your own fucking house? There's some things to think about. Jordan Peterson, I'd fucking debate you and that bitch Candace any day. Slava Ukrania.